All the reason behind Hillary Clinton lost. Number 1. There are more people out of the workforce than at any time in American history. You can't cover that up with an unemployment stat. People are not receiving an income. Number 2. Insurance premiums are up 30 to 40% across the country as a result of the Affordable Care Act. Again, it's hitting people's wallets. Number 3. Hillary has spent 30 years in government with no accomplishments. Fighting for anything with no results gets you fired in the private sector. Number 4. People are not feeling the effects of any rebound in the economy. Number 5. Hillary has continued to make poor decisions and then lie about them afterward. Number 6. The wants, needs of the majority of Americans have been ignored in an attempt to expand the voter base over the last few electoral cycles. Number 7. Labeling the majority of Trump supporters as deplorables was a terrible idea. The issues Trump raised were valid concerns even if his policy prescriptions didn't make sense or the language he used was offensive. Number 8. The hyper-partisanship in Washington is unappealing to Americans and Hillary is viewed as a Washington insider. Number 9. Hillary is not a progressive who gets things done despite her claiming so. She literally has no record of accomplishment to speak of. Number 10. The threat from ISIS and nation-state actors has increased under the current administration, and Hillary was the chief foreign policy architect. Number 11. The president and others called her the most qualified candidate in American history based on experience, but despite all that experience, she has nothing to show for it except for a legacy of poor decisions. Number 12. Hillary loves to blame a non-existent right-wing conspiracy for her problems. That worked the first time, but after 30 years of continuous scandals stemming from poor judgment on her part, the American people aren't buying it anymore. Number 13. People wanted change, even if that meant Donald Trump. Number 14. Lack of trust among voters. One major problem that Clinton faced was that she was unable to gain the trust of voters, says the Irish Times. Paid speeches to Goldman Sachs, questionable business connections involving her family charity, and other controversies revealed from leaked emails left many Americans doubting Clinton's sincerity. Number 15. FBI investigation. The FBI claiming it had discovered new emails and would reopen investigations against Clinton was a turning point for her. The New York Times says that, from the start, the investigative agency put out details in such a manner that made it appear that Clinton was above the law, something that got voters thinking. Number 16. Bad economy and trade deals. Many Americans were not sold on Clinton's proposals for improving the economy of the nation. Stagnant wage levels and soaring inequality were some of the persistent problems faced during President Barack Obama's rule that were felt by many voters. During his campaigns, Trump successfully convinced them to believe this was caused by bad trade deals and a rigged economy, according to The Guardian. Number 17. Nothing new in Clinton's policies. Clinton spent all her time and resources just to promote herself, ignoring that what voters would be looking at was the role she would play as a leader, PolitiFact states. Number 18. Misguided polls. Almost all polls gave Clinton a comfortable lead over Trump. Every poll except IBD tips said Trump was winning by 2 percentage points. Most pollsters may not have given enough weight to the avid Trump supporters, according to the Washington Post. Number 19. promised to appoint liberal Supreme Court judges. Clinton vowed to name liberal judges to the Supreme Court where they would form a majority to further weaken the Constitution's protections of civil liberties, according to Bloomberg News. This, perhaps, hurt her, as voters may have felt their rights would be threatened. Number 20. Clinton Foundation scandal. Though FBI Director James Comey announced Sunday in a letter to lawmakers that his agency will not change its July decision not to recommend an indictment for Hillary Clinton over her private email server. A probe into possible pay-for-play influence involving her Clinton Foundation continues.